5555 Jacksonville. He's Hacker.
Talk about a fried egg. I lasted about 5 minutes out there. I said, to heck with this. I'll do this in the morning. And I don't have any inside information. The lady that did it, she got in there. She made it happen.
And he doesn't shy away from opinion.
And I do enjoy drinking cold beer at ballparks. So if that makes me a baseball fan, then I'm a diehard baseball fan.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And a very good Tuesday evening, otherwise known as Training Camp Eve to you, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM with Dylan Denmark, the Hacker Ryan Green with you, Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. 199 days ago, the Jacksonville Jaguars capped off a 4-13 campaign on Sunday, January the 5th, losing to the Indianapolis Colts. Mac Jones was the starting quarterback. Doug Peterson was the head coach. Press Taylor was the offensive coordinator. Ryan Nielsen was the defensive coordinator. And Trent Baalke was the general manager. And now here we are, 199 days later. Training camp begins tomorrow at the Miller Electric Center. And obviously the change in this organization has been off the charts over the last 199 days. We're going to get all into it in just a moment. Guest lineup tonight looks like this on this Training Camp Eve edition of Hacker After Dark. A man that knows all about NFL training camps. He spent 7 years in the National Football League, including 4 right here in Jacksonville. My buddy Cecil Shorts will join me coming up in about 15 minutes or so. And we'll talk to Cecil about the Jaguars, Travis Hunter, and everything that has transpired this offseason. Also, at the top of the 9 o'clock hour, my buddy D-Rock, Mike Dco, ESPN.com, will stop by, and we will do a deep dive into the roster and training camp battles that will begin tomorrow morning as they hit the field for practice number 1. So Cecil Shorts, Mike Dco, maybe a surprise as well, and it has been brought to my attention that we have tickets to give away tonight, Denmark, right, for a preseason opener here in Jacksonville for, what is that, Saturday, August the 9th. This is really bad that I don't know this. Is that Pittsburgh? Who is that?
That is correct.
Okay, the Jaguars and the Steelers. So we'll probably do that in the first hour tonight as well. Now, we normally start with a big deal of the night. In fact, yes, we are, because this is a big deal of the night. Every night here on Hacker After Dark, we do kick it off with a big deal of the night. And Dylan Denmark, let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal? What is the big deal?
No, because it is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
Let's go to the Checkmate Coatings phone line, and it is training camp number 1, practice number 1 tomorrow at the Miller Electric Center. So that means a tradition, unlike any other, will continue in the parking lot down there outside the Miller Electric Center. My guy Fan Cam and the annual chili that he makes to kick off Jaguar training camp. I know Fan Cam has been working hard at it all day, getting things ready for the Jaguar fans tomorrow morning. And Fan Cam joins us here on Hacker After Dark. Fan Cam, how are you, pal?
I'm doing great, Hack. How are you? It's been a while.
It has been a while. Hope things are going well. And I know that you, with the chili, the annual cookout, I believe is tomorrow year number 30 of this event for you?
It sure is. It's hard to believe we're hitting the 30 mark this year. Of course, they went to Stevens Point the first year to avoid the heat, and it was 110 up there. So in year 2, they came back and built the practice fields here and started training camp in Jacksonville 30 years ago, and offered Coach Coughlin a bowl of chili before anybody came out. He, as usual, he was the first one on the practice field, and I offered Coach a bowl of chili. He declined, but he did get a chuckle out of it.
Well, that's outstanding. Now, for people that don't know, FanCam does this literally every year for the last 3 decades, the opening day of Jaguar training camp. Fan Cam, just how did this come about? What made you want to start doing this? And, man, 30 years, that's pretty incredible.
It's hard to believe. It started with just the thought that, hey, these guys are out busting their butt in the sun, and it's quite a bit of heat this time of year in Florida, and apparently Stevens Point. And we figured, why not kick back with a bowl of chili to demonstrate our commitment to rock and roll in the heat, and that we've been doing our off-season conditioning, and we're ready for football.
That's outstanding. Now, I want to talk about the event tomorrow in a moment, where you'll be set up for people that want to go out there and experience Fan Cam's chili. By the way, I've had it many, many times, and it is absolutely delicious. I love what you guys do. Fan Cam, you're one of the most loyal Jaguar fans in the city, and I mean that. You've been here since the beginning. You've been in that stadium when times have been awful, and you've been in that stadium when times have been good. Your thoughts on this offseason? I've called it maybe the craziest offseason in Jaguar history.
Well, it got off to a little bit of a rocky start, but I love the idea of bringing in young brain trust, guys that are highly respected around the league for their creativity and what they're going to bring to the table as they evolve in the league as coaches. And, even they can't tell you exactly how things are going to evolve because it's their first crack at it. But I like the idea. John's done a great job. I mean, Urban was a heck of a find. Nobody knew that his brain was gone at the time. I think he was coronated more than went through any kind of interview process. And then, we got a Super Bowl winning coach, and we came in and had an 11-3 run going before. I can't even describe what happened. It was one of the most remarkable downturns I've ever seen in sports, and it was obviously very frustrating for all of us here in Jacksonville. So we're looking forward to a fresh start with a bunch of people that we hope are going to go on to long and prosperous careers in the NFL. And I think they set the tone when they traded up for Travis Hunter. I mean, they kind of. I love the idea of trading back for BTJ and getting some picks, but the idea of trading up for Hunter, they put their stamp on things early, and I think we're going to have an exciting training camp, and I'm looking forward to an exciting team on the field this year.
Yeah, of course, training camp number one for Liam Cohen, James Gladstone, Travis Hunter, and the dozens upon dozens of new Jaguar players that were not even here in January when the season ended. All right, year number 30 for Fan Cam and the annual chili for the first day of Jaguar training camp. Fan Cam, what's been the story today, man? When did you start the cooking?
Started sauteing sausage at about 8:30 this morning,
Wow.
And we've been going for about 10 hours straight. Every skillet of sausage and ground beef is sauteed with love over some bacon grease with a splash of Cabernet. We've had about 25 skillets go into the pot, and just got that baby up to a boil a little while ago. So then we bring it down, we ice it down. The temperature change is always important in any type of sauce or gravy, and we're going to cool it off tonight, then heat it back in the morning, and hopefully serve about 150, 200 bowls of chili to Duval.
It'll be spectacular tomorrow morning. Now, where are you going to be set up? Right outside the Miller Electric Center?
Yeah, we're right outside. The line goes right by us, so you can enjoy a bowl of chili while you're waiting in line. The Jaguars administrative folks have been nothing short of phenomenal in helping out and bringing down swag and making sure everything goes smoothly. And everybody from the cops, the security guards, the concessionaires, the administrative staff comes down from their offices, and, of course, the fans and the media enjoy a hearty bowl of 13 sausage chili, 13 types of sausage, Jack.
No, it's absolutely spectacular. As I said, I've had it many, many times, and Fan Cam's not even doing it justice. His chili is a terrific way to start the Jaguar training camp season. Fan Cam, best of luck tomorrow. I'm sure I'll see you in the morning, and congratulations on 30 years of this event.
Appreciate it very much, Hack, and I can't wait to serve you a bowl of chili. You guys have a great night, and may it be a great season here in Duval.
One of the good guys, Fan Cam, absolutely spectacular. 30 years he's been doing this bowl of chili, and he prepares it, like you said, 24 hours in advance. They're going to serve upwards of 150 to 200 folks tomorrow. Hopefully I'm one of them. Cannot wait for that. And it's kind of the start of the season for me. Without Fan Cam's chili, the season really can't get here. But when you have that chili, you know that Jaguar football is officially back. Speaking of back, quickly, before we get to Cecil Shorts, I mentioned this at the top. 199 days. Now, in the grand scheme of things, 199 days isn't that long, right? It's like 6.5 months, roughly. But think about life as a Jacksonville Jaguar fan, media member, what have you, 199 days ago on Sunday, January the 5th. Losing your 13th game of the year to the Indianapolis Colts to close out the 24 season. Losing your 18th game in your last 23 ball games dating back to 2023. Doug Peterson was the head coach that day. Press Taylor was the offensive coordinator. Ryan Nielsen, the defensive coordinator. And Trent Baalke was your general manager. 199 days ago. And think about where we are now. Like I said last night, will it mean more wins come September, October, November? I have no idea. That'd be guessing at this point. Not a clue. But I know this. I host a nightly radio show. I'm lucky enough to host a nightly radio show on the flagship home of the Jaguars. I'm also fortunate enough to host a postgame show after every Jaguar game on the flagship home of the Jaguars. And I know 199 days ago, you fans were over it. You were done. You were disgusted. You were ticked. And in just 199 short days, the excitement has come back. You are now intangibly rich in the Jaguar ecosystem. You are now quoting Duval. You are now on board with Travis Hunter. Trevor Lawrence coming into year number 5. It's amazing the differing in opinion for most Jaguar fans now compared to where it was just 199 short days ago. And here's my question that I'll leave you with as we head into our conversation with Cecil Shorts. What will we all be talking about 199 days from now? We'll start getting those answers as the Jaguars kick off training camp at the Miller Electric Center. First practice is tomorrow morning. I'll be down there. I'm actually scheduled to have a conversation with new Jaguar center Robert Hainsey tomorrow after practice. Looking forward to that. I'll have a one-on-one after every training camp practice. It kicks off tomorrow. I'll have a one-on-one conversation with new Jaguar center Robert Hainsey. I've had many one-on-one conversations with my buddy Cecil Shorts. 7 years in the National Football League, including 4 right here in Jacksonville. Haven't had Cecil on in a couple of months. Let's talk Travis Hunter. Let's talk Trevor Lawrence. Let's talk about all the newness here in Jacksonville. And let's talk to a former Jaguar about the level of excitement that he has about this 2025 Jaguar season. Cecil Shorts next, right here on a Tuesday night in Jacksonville, Florida. It's Hacker After Dark.
Dan Hicken.
You just gotta keep living, man. Livin.
Jeff Prosser.
Just living the dream.
The Drill.
Just living the dream. I love that.
Mornings on 1010XL.
Baloo here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Here you can see.
It's a battle for the playoffs as your Sharks take the field this Saturday. Kickoff at 7. Tickets start at just $15. Discover the thrill of indoor football. It's fast-paced, action-packed, and full of family fun. Try the new 4-packs, 4 tickets, 4 food vouchers, and a $20 gift card. All for only $100. Get tickets at jacksharks.com or call 904-621-0700. 904-621-0700.
Prosser here. Ask about the Sharks 4-packs. 4 tickets, 4 food vouchers, and a $20 gift card, all for only $100. It's Military Appreciation Night, presented by True Vet Solutions. All current and former military can purchase a special buy one, get one free ticket deal. Join us on the field after the game for a jersey auction and autograph session, sponsored by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectible. Tickets start at just $15. Call 904-621-0700. That's 904-621-0700.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple of years ago. Went smooth as silk. Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. Was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
When you need a mechanic you can trust, call Sam, Harry, or Joe at AA Automotive on Richard Street. From oil changes to complex engine repairs, AA Automotive promises expert service and honest pricing from a local family biz. AA Automotive on Richard Street.
Fish know where to hide. Captain Kevin knows how to find them.
That's a big one.
Listen for the Wing Power Fishing Forecast Show, brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss and Royal Pest Services.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
Lauren Brooks here from Helmets and Heels. Circa Resort and Casino has 2 epic pro football contests, Circa Million and Circa Survivor. Circa Million, pick 5 games weekly against the spread for $1 million grand prize. Circa Survivor, 1 pick a week, no spread, last one standing wins $15 million. Enter at any Circa in Nevada, play anywhere. Sign up for either and get 50% off a 2-night stay. Helmets and Heels will be live from Circa in Vegas on August 22nd. Full contest details at circasports.com and the 1010XL homepage.
Brackish Vodka, the spirit of the sportsman and proud partner of the Jaguars, is thrilled to announce you can get all of their flavors and original vodka at PJ Liquors in St. Augustine. PJ Liquors, since 1999, has been serving up summertime fun. Now enjoy Brackish Vodka, the #1 local vodka in North Florida. Brackish Vodka is the first clean craft vodka, and you can find their 9 flavors at PJ Liquors. Brackish Vodka, for whatever your sport is. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
Mike Dempsey, and now's the time to get your roof hurricane ready with Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacks Beach. Look, our rainy season is no joke, and if your roof's got damage, leaks, or it's just plain worn out, don't wait. Apex is local, dependable, and will show up on time using only premium materials with ironclad warranties. No shortcuts, no stress, just quality work you can trust. Skip the storm season scramble. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacks Beach, or visit apexroofingfl.com.
Hacker here, fresh back from vacation. You know, it's interesting since I started my Awaken 180 journey. You know, in the past, when I would go on vacation, it would just be a total free-for-all, right? Eat whatever's fried, this, that, or the other. But Awaken 180 not only has helped me lose over 100 pounds, it has changed my mindset on food. I eat healthier now because I know and I understand how good not having that excess weight feels. When I talk about Awaken 180 weight loss being life-changing, it is in all different aspects, including things I order and things I even enjoy to do on vacation now. Awaken 180 has changed my life for the better thanks to all the weight it has allowed me to lose and now to keep off. If it's time for you to lose weight like it was for me, do yourself a favor and go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com, or call 844-346-1800. Change your life with Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Interested in a unique date night? Gibby here. I took my wife Nikki to Wick a Candle Bar. She made her own custom candle right there in the store. Shop local at Wick a Candle Bar. Locations in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line.
Hello.
Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Training camp week has arrived. The Jaguars will be on the field Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as Liam Cohen, James Gladstone, Tony Baselli, and the new crew in charge of the Jacksonville Jaguars kick off their first Jaguar training camp. Let's talk about all of it with a man that knows all about training camp in the NFL. He played 7 years in the National Football League, including 4 right here in Jacksonville. You get him every week here on Hacker After Dark during the season. That's my buddy, former Jaguar wide receiver, Cecil Shorts. Cecil, it's been a little while, man. Hope your summer's going well for you.
Man, RG, summer's going well, but football is back. It's just this feeling that, and it's a good feeling when football's coming around. So Wednesday can't come here fast enough. All the news from every team is still going to start coming out. So it's an exciting time of year.
Cecil, you did 7 training camps in your career in the National Football League. What's the emotion of players as they report and take the field for that first day of camp?
Ooh, so that's a good question. Right now, guys are getting ready to either go to the city or go to their team, spend last time with you guys. You got family, spending time there, but it's go time. Especially in Jacksonville right now, you got something to prove. So you're excited about going to training camp. You're excited about proving yourself if you're a draft pick. You're excited about coming in if you're a free agent. You're excited about earning your spot. You're excited about a new head coach. There's a lot of excitement going into training camp right now. It's a lot of build-up. There'll be a lot of healthy tension out there as well because you want to do well. And everybody knows how serious it is and how much this is important for your career and for the team to be successful. So this is a fun time of year, an exciting time of year, but it's definitely go time.
See, so there's a lot of aspects I want to talk about with you, but number one, normally this time of the off season, I'm pretty good with jersey numbers. I like to consider myself a numbers guy, and I don't really need a roster sheet normally from the Jaguar PR staff. I'm going to need one this week because of the 90 guys that are going to be there beginning Wednesday morning. Over half of those guys were not even here in January when last season ended. You always talk about building chemistry and cohesiveness in training camp. Boy, that's never more true here in Jacksonville because the roster turnover this offseason was absolutely massive.
Man, it's going to be critical. Like the roster turnover, the head coach turnover, the GM. There's so many new people in the building. So everybody is learning how to be cohesive. Everybody's learning how to work together. Everybody's learning the terminology, learning just as individuals how to communicate and how to coach people, right? One thing that Cohen, I think, has done a really good job of in Tampa last year, he turned that offense completely around in his 1 year as an OC. So the challenge for him is, can he do that this year? But can he do that while communicating how he needs to communicate? Can he reach the guys the same way? Can he build a relationship with those guys so they can play the best for him? So it's a lot that goes into it. But I totally agree with you, man. It's a big time of year. Not just this time, because you got mini camp, you had OTA and stuff like that. But this is the most important time of year when it comes to building that cohesiveness and getting to know each other and really putting a good product out there on the field.
Former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Shorts with us here on 1010XL as Jaguar training camp is set to kick off this week. Cecil, it's a big year for Trevor Lawrence, and I feel like I talk to you about this every July coming into training camp, but this is, look, he's going to be 26 in October, right? He's not 22 anymore. Now, this is his 4th head coach in 6 years. If you go back to his final year at Clemson, I mean, Cecil, for crying out loud, it's going to be the 3rd straight year he's had a different center to learn with. I mean, he has not been dealt the best hand of cards here in Jacksonville, but at the end of the day, the contract he got, the fact that he's not the young kid anymore, I mean, this is a massive year for Trevor, correct?
It's a huge year. And all those things you mentioned is very true with the centers, with the coordinators, with the head coaches, but it doesn't matter. Like, you coming out of college with the #1 overall pick, you got your 2nd contract, your job is to produce. Not just statistics, but also wins, right? And that's the unfair thing when it comes to playing quarterback. But at the end of the day, that's what matters. So to me, I'm just going to be honest with you, this is a make or break year. If you look at Liam, he just came from a situation where Baker Mayfield, in his first year as an OC, Baker Mayfield had his career year, 4,500 yards. Career year passing touchdowns. Awesome. Turn that offense completely around. So the pressure's not on Liam because Liam signed a contract. He had 4 or 5 years, however long it takes. This is going to be Trevor's pressure. He has to go out there and perform. He has to go out there. They put a plethora of weapons around him. They drafted a guy who plays both ways. And he's exceptional at doing it, right? And we'll see. That's another conversation. We'll see how that goes. But you got a Brian Thomas. You got so many weapons around you. It's time for him to step up, stay healthy, step up and play well. When he's healthy, he's not bad at all. When he's healthy, he's one of the top 15 guys in the league. When he's not, he's battling through injuries, then we see the ups and downs of Trevor Lawrence. So this is a make-or-break year for him because he doesn't perform this year under a new coach, under a new GM. Guess what? He's not their guy. So there will be no issue with them going out there. Not saying this will happen, but think about trading or bringing somebody else in for competition, right? So this is a big year for Trevor. I believe in Trevor. I think he can do it, but he has to stay healthy and then produce when his numbers go.
So let's talk about those skill position players. All right, Brian Thomas Jr., you mentioned Travis Hunter. I'm pretty high on De'Ami Brown as well, the young man they brought in from Washington on a one-year deal. We know about Parker Washington. I mean, those four guys in particular, there is no doubt there is talent there, and I think a lot of people are intrigued here, Cecil, to see particularly how Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter are going to work out there together.
It's going to be fun to watch. Like, these two guys are dynamic. Brian Thomas Jr., we've seen what he can do last year. You talked about it. How soon can he develop? How soon can he, get on the field and get reps? And from day one, he was making plays. Like, he was so comfortable and smooth out there, taking the top off the defense, running routes, getting open, create separation. So now going in year two, this is where the hard part comes in. Can you be consistently good? Can you be good in year two when people are waiting for you, are preparing for you, are going to double you? But what they did was bring in another guy, in Travis Hunter. And people forget, because you mentioned De'Ami Brown. I love De'Ami. I think he'd be really good in the slot. I love Parker Washington. He showed some flashes last year. He can be good in the slot. But people forget about Brenton Strange. Like, Brenton, to me, is the guy that can be special. Former second-round pick, he's the guy that showed some promise last year when Evan Ingram was out, right? He made some big-time plays, had some really good games, showed consistency. So there's weapons galore. Now it's about getting these guys the ball. And, again, to me, that falls on Trevor. Give these guys the ball, just throw to the open guy. If you get the ball in Travis's hands, you get the ball in De'Ami's hands, you get the ball in BT's hands, let them work. Let them do the hard part. You just find a spot to put it, let them catch it, and make them work.
Couple of more for former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Shorts. Cecil, I don't think it matters who wins the, quote, starting job, because I think both of these guys are going to have a big role in the offense. But there does appear to be a competition between Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby for that, quote-unquote, RB1 role as training camp opens.
It's going to be interesting. I think last year Tank surpassed Travis for whatever the reason. I'm not sure what was going on with Travis, if it was injuries. This wasn't confidence in the hole. This wasn't making the plays or accumulative things. But I think it's important going into, if you look at the offense last year in Tampa, I keep going back to, because I'm thinking about Liam and how he runs his ship, right? So you had Bucky Irving that came in late, but then you also had the starter that was already there playing well as well. So they used two backs in different situations, and they both played well and got yards and got touches. So when it comes to Tank and it comes to Travis, I can kind of see the same thing happening. Doesn't really matter who is the number one or 1A, 1B. If I'm Travis in a contract year, I definitely want to be that 1A guy.
You know as well as anybody, Cecil, there's 7 years in the league that you can have the best wide receivers and running back and quarterback on planet Earth, and none of it matters if you don't have an offensive line. Now, what the Jaguars did this offseason is they went out and got 6 new guys to come in, 4 in free agency, 2 in the draft. I happen to think all 6 are going to make the team. I think you sprinkle in, obviously, Walker Little and Anton Harrison, Ezra Cleveland as well. I think there are going to be some offensive linemen that are going to have a hard time making this roster that have been here the last couple of years. But we talk about chemistry and cohesiveness. Well, that's a huge factor on the O-line. How much of a concern is it for you that there are so many new guys in that offensive line room?
I'm not that concerned. It's about finding the right 5 or 6 that can be the best that they can be, right? So wherever that 5 or 6 is. Last year, I think you really struggled at right tackle. I think Harrison needed to have some I expected him to have a bigger jump last year than what he did in year 2. So you bring competition in. That's what it is. Like, you have to bring competition in at all positions to be able to get the best out of your guys. So as long as you can find the best 5, 6, 7, and I say 7 because 6 and 7 can be guys that sub in if somebody gets hurt, right? But you got to find a solid 7, especially that first 5, that can protect, that can pass block, that can really get the things going in the run game, because that's what's going to be key for Trevor Lawrence, for that offense in general. You can get points on the board if you protect number 16 back there.
Final moments with former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Shorts as Jaguar training camp set to open at the Miller Electric Center on Wednesday morning. Cecil, I know you always look at the defensive backs because goodness knows you went up against a bunch of great ones during your 7-year career. Take Travis Hunter out of the equation for a moment. Tyson Campbell, Jarian Jones, Jordan Lewis. I know the staff really likes Monteric Brown as well. Do the Jaguars have enough at corner to maybe ease Travis Hunter in there, or do you think Travis Hunter is going to need to play because of issues at corner?
I think this is my honest opinion. I think you have enough right now to start out without Travis, and maybe he pays packages. And as time goes on, you'll see what happens. You'll make adjustments, right? But I think the corner group that you just mentioned, the DB group that you just mentioned, love me some Tyson Campbell. I actually like Jordan Lewis a lot. So we'll see how it goes. But I think you have enough to at least start the season and be productive. Now, if guys are getting hurt, guys are not showing what they can, that they're playing the best of their ability, or if Travis is just that special, if he's just that good that he should be out there more and more and more, then I think you'll see him.
The only position, Cecil, they really didn't address in free agency or the draft is the interior of the defensive line. Now, what I think the argument is there is they move Eric Armstead back inside, which he should have been all along. It was ridiculous what they were doing last year. So maybe you could count Armstead as an addition because that's where he's going to be. But you got him, you got Mason Smith, Devon Hamilton, Jordan Jefferson, and I believe Tyler Lacey. Those are going to be the 5. I would be shocked if those weren't the 5 on opening day in the interior of the D-line. Are you comfortable there, or do you think there might be some issues?
I'm comfortable. I think Eric is more comfortable inside. I got a chance to hang out with him a little bit in the offseason. That's some stuff. He just seems like a guy that's more comfortable inside. Of course, he was being a team guy last year, doing whatever coach says. But I think he's more comfortable in that interior place. So you can say he's an added guy or a new guy in that area, but I think he's going to be dominant. You'll see his production skyrocket, or just his presence be known in the middle of the field. And I think Mason's going to take a big step this year. It's hard coming in as a young guy. It's hard coming in not knowing how to take care of your body, as he mentioned in previous interviews and stuff I was reading. So him just learning how to take care of his body and be a professional. He came on stronger at the end of the year last year. So I think he can also help out in that interior line. So I think you have enough right now. But as you know, as preseason goes, as you see other guys step up or other guys get cut from other teams, there can be additions here and there. But I think right now, I'll be honest with you, this roster is set up where you can have a winner this year. I don't know how good you could be, but I think right now you have a chance to have a winning record for sure.
See, so as we wrap up, the safety position is also going to be really interesting. You're very familiar with Eric Murray from his time in Houston. He comes in projected to be a starter. They draft Caleb Ransaw out of Tulane. Of course, you got Antonio Johnson and Darnell Savage. If you consider the special teams guys with Dewey Wingard and Daniel Thomas, and mention Rayon Lane, too. They drafted him out of Navy. There's just simply not enough roster spots for all those guys. There's going to be an odd man out. I think safety is going to be fascinating as camp opens.
It's going to be one of the most interesting position groups to watch because, as you mentioned, it's not enough numbers. Like, the numbers are what they are, and depending on how many they keep at corner, how many they keep at safety, how many linebackers, all of it plays a role, right? How many defensive linemen they'll keep, and then how many of those guys are truly good and special on special teams, right? How many of those guys can really produce on that side of the football, which is not talked about a lot, but as you know, RG, it's super important. It's extremely important, and that's how you can. There's guys that last 10, 12 years in the league just by maybe bouncing around a little bit, but just by being able to play special teams, running down on gunner, running down on kickoff, and be able to make the team. But also, just because you play special teams does not mean you when your number is called, say a Savage goes down, say somebody in that back goes down, you got to be able to step up and be able to be productive in the defensive backfield as well. So it's going to be a tough call. But like you mentioned, it's always about numbers. There's always surprise cuts here and there too. But that would be definitely a position to watch going into training camp.
Cecil, final question. I think you had the luxury of playing for 3 head coaches here in 4 years, right? It is kept constantly turning over head coaches during your time here in Jacksonville. What are the players' anticipations of Liam Cohen? I mean, the guys that were brought in with Doug Peterson, or heck, some of the guys that were here from Doug Marrone, now Cohen in his first training camp as the head coach. What's kind of the dynamic there between the players and the coach as training camp opens?
You're still feeling them out. You're still trying to get to know them. You're still in the process of building a relationship with a new head coach, right? I think one of the things that will help him a lot, I think other coaches done this in the past, is just really talking to the guys. As you're walking into the locker room, sitting down, talking to them, talking about ball, talking about family, just getting to know the guys more and more and more. Then you go into details of the game plan, details of what you want to see him get better at, call guys into your office and things like that. But it's a process that you can't rush, but you still have to get to know each other, right? And I think that's going to be a huge thing. I think Liam's done a good job just from the outside looking in. I think he's done a good job kind of just being himself. He's kind of goofy. He's kind of silly. Even Gladstone, they're not like your normal, typical, I should say, your typical, not mean, but your typical type of GM and head coach. They seem very relatable. They seem like they're very open to talking to the guys. They seem very honest. They seem very genuine, right? So if they can just continue that and be consistent every day, I think the guys will love them. And I think it's going to be a good training camp, a good start to the year.
Former Jaguar wide receiver, Cecil Shorts. Cecil, really appreciate it. We'll touch base again before the preseason opener in a couple of weeks. Thank you as always, pal.
Hey, thanks, RG. Talk to you soon.
You go, there we are.
I know. I checked online.
1010XL is on your smartphone and tablet. Download our free app for all devices and take us with you around Duval and around the world.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, buddy. Why so glum?
Stinky ice cubes, Jason. It's all downhill from here.
What?
The tap water at my place smells kind of funky. Funky tap water makes funky ice cubes. I meet a nice girl, invite her back to my place for a cocktail, and blow my whole romantic gesture with a mojito that smells like dog's feet.
Wait, I can totally make you way cooler.
I'm not taking your charity ice cubes, Jason. I have my pride.
Your pride is safe. Our plumbers can be at your house the day you call and install a whole home water purification system. Water tastes better, dishes come out cleaner, even your hair feels better after you shower.
Ooh, the ladies love a man with soft hair, don't they, Jason?
Life moves pretty fast. If you spend every day worried about the water in your own home, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement $999.99 and qualifying forwarded. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off via virtual prepaid card over 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
Here's your 1010XL First Coast Community Calendar.
The Tom Coughlin J Fund helps families battling childhood cancer, and there are ways you can help. Go to tcjfund.org.
City Rescue Mission provides life-changing support for the homeless. Find ways to get involved at CRM Jacks.
The 5-star Veterans Center of Jacksonville is the place homeless veterans can go to recover, recharge, retrain, and reconnect. Learn more at 5starveteranscenter.org.
Her Song is a nonprofit organization that breaks the cycle of human trafficking through survivor care, victim outreach, and education. Find out how you can help at hersong.org.
The Hometown for Heroes Home Buyers Program helps you get your down payment and closing costs paid. Call to learn more. 574-7180.
If you're involved in a community event and you'd like us to help spread the word, find out how at 1010xl.com.
Hayes Carline here. If you're shopping for a new ride, you've got to check out Atlantic Infinity. Not only do you get a luxury vehicle, you also get the Atlantic Infinity Promise Free with every new car. That's almost $2,500 in added value just for buying smarter. And you don't have to sweat it out on the lot. Shop in their indoor climate-controlled showrooms. It's cool, comfortable, hassle-free. They're on Atlantic near St. John's Bluff, or browse anytime at atlanticinfinity.com.
If you missed it, get it on demand.
And you send those out on the line.
Find your 1010XL favorites where you find podcasts and at 1010XL.com. Channel 5. Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. With the weather now hot as can be, look ahead and get that backyard ready for fall with a new open air or screened-in enclosure. Maximize the space you have and make it great with Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. They truly are the best in the business. So if you have the space and the idea, give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you.
Hi, folks. Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Ever wonder what to do with leftover paint that you don't want? Here's a few options. Paint can be placed in the regular trash if it's dry. Simply stir in kitty litter to a thick consistency. Then wait a few days with the lid off till it dries. Also, if the paint is good, there's many charities or churches that would love to have it. If you'd like more tips or have a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting. As a Florida homeowner, you're no stranger to mosquito problems. And although it's tempting to use DIY methods to get rid of them, mosquitoes are relentless. That's why it's important to enlist the help of the mosquito experts at Florida Pest Control. At Florida Pest Control, we offer specialized treatment solutions that are effective against mosquito infestations and are committed to keeping our customers protected year-round. For your free quote, give us a call or visit flapest.com today. Florida Pest Control, your local mosquito control experts.
Guys, want a golf course fairway quality lawn? TopDressing.com just landed in Jacksonville with the golf course secret for St. Augustine grass homeowners. A patented process that aerates and turns your turf into a fairway stunner. Serious golf course technology, but in your yard. Less water, tighter cuts, total neighborhood domination. No one else scores a perfect 10 lawn. Hit TopDressing.com now. You will own the block. Top dress your yard like the pros with TopDressing.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
18 minutes before the 9 o'clock hour. Hacker After Dark. We'll take you up till 10 o'clock as we do every night right here on 1010XL. And on 92.5 FM, my buddy Mike Dco, D-Rock, ESPN.com, will join me at the top of the 9 o'clock hour. We will do a deep dive into the Jaguar training camp storylines. We'll go position by position, looking at the roster, some tough cuts that are going to be made, some position battles that are shaping up, everything you need to know on training camp eve. My buddy Mike Dco, ESPN.com, joins me at the top of the 9 o'clock hour. Some pretty surprising news out of Jaguar camp on report day. The veterans came in today, and Mason Smith was placed on the PUP list. Now, what does that mean? Well, might mean something, might mean nothing, might mean somewhere in between. And I'm not really giving you a whole lot of information there, but the PUP list in the preseason, you can stay on there for a while. You can come off of it tomorrow. Who really knows? I didn't think there was anything wrong with Mason Smith. I thought he looked good in the times I saw him, at least at OTAs and at minicamp. Don't have any idea why he showed up on the PUP list, but what I will say is this. And look, I'm trying not to be, overflowing positivity guy here on training camp eve, but it is July 22nd, okay? If Mason Smith is still on the PUP list on August the 22nd, come back and talk to me, and my feelings might be a little different at that point. We have 47 days until the Jaguars play the Carolina Panthers in week 1 of the NFL regular season. Again, he could come off the PUP list tomorrow. He could come off of it next week. He could come off of it in 3 weeks and still almost have a month to prepare for Carolina. It's newsworthy. It was a little surprising, sure, but I'm not all up in arms over it. Again, July 22nd. August 22nd, if he's still on the PUP list, we might be having a different conversation here on Hacker After Dark. So mark your calendars for roughly a month from now. But for the here and now, something to take note of. I wouldn't necessarily say it's something to worry about. The interesting thing about Mason Smith and the interior defensive line, you think about the Jaguars this offseason. Everywhere on offense and defense, they didn't do anything at punter, kicker, or long snapper. I know that. But let's think about this. Quarterback room, completely different behind Trevor Lawrence. Running back room, 2 brand new rookie running backs. Wide receiver room, a lot of new guys in there. Tight end room, ton of new guys in there. Offensive line room, there are more new guys than there are holdovers from last year. Safeties, couple of rookies, a free agent. Corners, couple of rookies and a free agent. Linebacker, you bring in a guy like Jack Kaiser. Defensive end, the edge position, Emmanuel Ogbah, Jalen McLeod, Gardeck from Arizona, who's also on the PUP list, by the way. Literally every position on offense and defense, the Jaguars did something, either in the draft or in pro free agency, with the exception of the interior defensive line, which is obviously where Mason Smith resides. Now, Mason Smith, again, I think my hope is he'll be fine, but he's one of the 5 guys that I almost have as locks for that interior D-line. You got Eric Armstead, who's now playing in the middle where he should have played all along last year. Mason Smith, we'll see, PUP list, but again, I'm not worried about it yet. Devon Hamilton, Jordan Jefferson, and Tyler Lacey. And obviously, or I guess that shouldn't be obviously, but it appears obvious on the surface that the coaching staff, Anthony Campanile, the defensive staff, Liam Cohen, and James Gladstone, they liked what they saw out of the interior defensive line. Because, again, of every position on either offense or defense, that was the one that was seemingly untouched in the draft or in pro free agency. Denmark, when you saw the Mason Smith news today, newsworthy, yes. If you're a Jaguar fan, should you be concerned about that on July 22nd?
It's a head scratcher. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say 2 at a max 3. I mean, this could be,
could be anything.
It could be he tweaked his knee, doing drills, at his house, or he stubbed his toe on the furniture. It could be anything, on the scale. I'm not too worried about it right now. I'm sure Liam Cohen's going to be asked about it tomorrow.
It will be the first thing he's asked.
I'm sure. So, yeah, ask me in about 12, 13 hours, and, we'll have more clarity on this.
Do you agree with my line of thinking, though, that if he's still on the PUP list on August the 22nd, we have something to talk about?
Yeah, a much bigger issue. Like you said, Jaguar fans, have you surveyed them in January, February, D tackle would have been their main list of priority on what they needed to address, and they didn't, which shows you the front office and Liam Cohen believe that they're good where they're at. So if they believe they're good where they're at, I'm sure they believe that Mason Smith's going to have a big role, and if he's not going to start the season, at least not playing the first couple of games, that's big.
Yeah, I don't want to think about that. You're right. That would be big. Again, I hope that's not the case. We should get some clarity on it with Liam Cohen tomorrow. It will be, again, the first thing he's asked in the press conference, and we'll see. But to me, the 5 guys on the interior defensive line, again, Armstead, Smith, Jefferson, Hamilton, and Lacey. And then you talk about the edge position. Well, obviously, Hines Allen and Walker. I'm going to throw Emmanuel Ogbah in there. Gardeck from Arizona. Is it Dennis Gardeck? I always call him Gardeck the Barbarian. That's what his nickname was out in Arizona. He's on the PUP list too, but he had an ACL injury in October. You know why he's on the PUP list, because he tore the ACL in October. You do the math on that, we're talking 9 months. You would think in the next month or two, he should be getting pretty close to getting back. Normally, ACLs 9, 10 and a half months-ish. So we're right on the cusp of that 9-month mark for when he did that in Arizona a year ago. So you know why he's on the PUP list. We don't really know why Mason Smith is. We should, again, get more clarity on that tomorrow. But training camp does kick off. Again, we'll be down there every day of training camp, not only Hacker After Dark, but pretty much every show at the station will be represented. I will do one-on-ones after every practice that I'm allowed to be at as a member of the media. Tomorrow, scheduled to talk with Robert Hainsey, the brand new center here in Jacksonville. Looking forward to that conversation after practice tomorrow, and we will bring you my chat with Robert Hainsey on our Wednesday night edition tomorrow night of Hacker After Dark. But because we are on the eve of training camp, Denmark, we're givers here on Hacker After Dark, particularly to the hard-working men and women of Northeast Florida. Where are we at? 8:51 Eastern Standard Time. People are fired up. We got training camp in 11 hours. We got fan cams chili that'll be rocking out there in the parking lot outside the Miller Electric Center. And all eyes are going to be on this team. But from a preseason standpoint, all eyes will be on Saturday, August the 9th, when the Jaguars host the Pittsburgh Steelers in the preseason opener. And is it my understanding that tonight here on Hacker After Dark, Denmark, we have tickets to give away to that ball game?
Yeah, I got a family 4-pack of tickets to the Jags' first preseason game against the Steelers, Saturday, August 9th at 7 p.m.
Wow, a family 4-pack. So here's what I want you to do. Just simply be caller number 4 right now at 641-1010, and Dylan Denmark will hook you up. Jaguars Steelers preseason opener down at the stadium August 9th. Caller 4 right now at 641-1010. Mike Dco, ESPN.com. Let's do a deep dive into all the training camp storylines. We'll get into it with D-Rock next, right here on Hacker After Dark.
He's the toughest guy on our team.
He thinks he's Rambo.
Tom McManus.
Rambo is a...
Fridays on Jaguars Today, 10 to noon on the flagship station of the Jaguars, 1010XL.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
If your house feels like a Florida swamp and your thermostat's just throwing out suggestions, then it's time to call Duck Air Conditioning.
They showed up fast, fixed it right, and even cleaned up after. My house is finally chilled, and so am I.
Whether your AC needs a quick fix, a full replacement, or just a little TLC, Duck Air Conditioning has got you covered with fast and honest service. Call 904-862 762-6769 to get your cool back. Or online at duckduckac.com. When your AC is stuck, call the Duck.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just the job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
Your grandfather was stronger at 50 than you are at 40. Want to know why? His testosterone was 30% higher than yours. That's not genetics. That's modern life killing your hormones. Stress, chemicals, sitting, it's all crushing your T levels. Male Excel reverses it. Prescription testosterone, thyroid optimization, personalized to you. Over 100,000 men are already winning again. Your turn. Try MaleExcel.com. Free assessment because you deserve it. Your family deserves it.
Hey, Hickett here. Think you got the ugliest garage floor on the First Coast? Your garage a crack-stained, hot mess? Hold on to your squeegee. Checkmate Coatings is hunting for the worst garage floor out there. And the winner gets a free garage coating makeover. Whoa! Take 10 seconds. Snap a pic of that garage eyesore. Register at checkmatecoatings.com/contest for a chance to win a free floor coating. It's easy. Just snap a quick pic and enter for a chance to win at checkmatecoatings.com/contest. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold's recently hit an all-time high at over $3,000 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Denny Thompson here. Look, don't get left in the dark. We're all trying to reason with hurricane season, so at least be prepared. For top-of-the-line generators in Jacksonville, I turn to Tyson. Licensed pros at Tyson deliver reliable, whole-home standby generators and provide fast repair service. They even do custom installations for local businesses, so don't wait. Ensure seamless installation and peace of mind. Call Tyson now, 904-762-1000 for a free estimate on generator services. TysonInc.com.
Football season is almost here, so before it arrives, I'm going to get my home organized. Lauren Brooks here at Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers, anywhere that needs to be organized. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off during the month of July. Call 878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Tired of wrestling with your shower curtain like it's a slip and slide gone wrong? Ditch the drama and say hello to a smooth, stylish glass shower enclosure from Baker Glass. Wago Glass is clean, elegant, and makes your bathroom look huge and brighter. Give your shower a makeover and feel like you're in a spa without the price tag. I'm Mac at Baker Glass. Call me and get ready to love your new shower. Let's make your shower great again. Remember, Baker Glass, no one treats you better.
Summertime is busy with graduation parties, summer barbecues, festivities, family gatherings. The month of July, National Carpet Cleaning Month. So Zero Res is offering $45 per room of carpet clean and 20% off air duct cleaning services as well. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResJacksonville.com or call them 287-5727 and ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spelled backwards or forwards, it spells the same. Zero Res.
Zero Res. 1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us, and training camp week has arrived. The Jaguars will be out at the Miller Electric Center Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. So 4 days of practice coming up here in the next handful of days as they kick off 2025's training camp. The first, of course, for Liam Cohen and James Gladstone. What was a really interesting offseason should also develop into a really interesting training camp. Let's talk about all of it with Mike Dco, ESPN.com. We lovingly call him D-Rock, and Mike's always kind enough to join us here on Hacker After Dark. D-Rock, how are you, sir?
I'm good, Hack. How are you?
We're good, Mike. Hope your summer has gone well. You and I last spoke around OTAs, and boy, it got here quick, didn't it? Training camp has arrived. Where did the summer go?
Yeah, it always seems like, we hit the draft and then the next 2 months kind of drag. Then you finally get that break after mini camp, and then you snap your fingers and it's like, all right, okay, here we go. Camp's ready. Let's go. Another month. And then preseason's over and finally we're at the season. So hopefully this next month and a half will go pretty quickly, just like the summer did.
Mike, you've covered this team for a long time and you've lived in Jacksonville even longer. I mean, this offseason, the last 6.5 months, when you think about everything that transpired dating back from January 6th when Peterson got fired to where we are now on the eve of training camp, how would you summarize everything that happened with the Jaguars over the last 6+ months?
Busy. I've been covering them since 2013, like you said, and there's never been this kind of, I don't even want to say reset, because that's not really right, but sort of revamp of the entire franchise in terms of philosophical approach, and certainly not been around where there's been the head coach, GM, EVP installed, all at the same time. That kind of a bold and crazy move by the organization to move up and grab Travis Hunter, and finding a guy like Liam Cohen to kind of hopefully fix your franchise quarterback. It's just a lot to have happened in such a short period of time for this franchise. But, in addition to busy, I think I would describe it as hope too, because that's where we are sitting right now. I think Jaguars fans hope that this group of changes, including the GM change that they wanted for so long, is finally going to be the one that kind of gets them over the hump and become a consistent playoff team. So, after 2022, going into 2023, there was a lot of enthusiasm. Everybody thought, hey, this team's going to take that next step, just like 2018. It didn't happen. But now I sense a lot more hope around here. And, that makes it fun for all of us in the media. When there's more interest in this team, it's so much better for all of us, because everything we do, people listen to, look at, read. So it's hopeful for them, and I guess busy for us too, Hack.
Mike Dco, ESPN.com. D-Rock, we'll talk about individual stories in a moment, but I know in years past, at least me personally, I really didn't need a roster sheet come training camp because I was pretty familiar with the guys from OTAs and the mini camps and whatnot. I'll be happy to have a roster sheet in my hand this week. I mean, of the 90 guys that are going to be there on Wednesday morning, Mike, roughly 50 to 55 of them were not even here in January. I mean, the roster turnover has been enormous.
Yeah, and especially along that offensive line and in that secondary, is where we see the biggest influx of guys. And, those were two areas that needed that. I mean, we all know how much the offensive line has struggled over the last several years. And it's not out of the question that we could see 4 new starters on that offensive line, all of whom were guys that were not here last year. And it's not out of the question, too, that we could see 2 brand new starting safeties that weren't here last year. 2 of the 3 cornerbacks could be guys that weren't here last year either. But again, when you're trying to, I said reset's not really the right word, but when you're trying to rejuvenate a roster, you've got to do that. Now, will it all work out? Who knows, obviously. But yeah, I was thinking of that same thing when I was going through my 53-man roster projection, which I think ran this morning with my training camp preview. Yeah, it sure did. And I'm like, boy, that's a lot of names of guys that weren't here last year. And sometimes you've got to do that. But the offensive line is the one I'm really, really interested to see how it goes, because, like I said, 4 new starters from on a group that has really underperformed the last several years. That's a significant change.
Mike, let's dive into the offensive line. Let's begin. I guess everybody's talking about left guard. Is it Ezra Cleveland versus Wyatt Milam, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think the feeling there is that Ezra Cleveland is still probably going to be the guy, but Wyatt Milam is going to push him. And if Milam outperforms him, then absolutely he's going to win that job. And Milam can play all over the offensive line. So he gives them that flexibility as well, which has sort of been the theme for the guys that they've added to this offensive line if you look in the offseason. But, Cleveland's the leader going in, but let's see what happens once pads go on and then we get into the preseason.
Would assume Hainsey and Macari are going to be 2 of the starters, center and right guard, respectfully. And then the tackle position, Mike, I mean, we've talked all offseason, Anton Harrison and Walker Little are going to have battles, right, with Fred Johnson and Chuma Edoga.
Yeah, I was told Walker Little played pretty well in the spring, so I would give him a pretty decent lead over Fred Johnson in the heading into camp. Anton Harrison was a little back and forth in training camp, and obviously I think we talked about it before. The head coach calling out Anton Harrison when he wants to go, he can go. Well, there's a message being sent. So, I think that's probably the position that's maybe more wide open than any of the others with Chuma Edoga. So if Anton's going to be the guy that everybody thought he was going to be after that rookie season, he's got to step it up, because last year was a major disappointment. He wasn't healthy as a rookie, but he was last year, and he didn't get any better. And you could argue that maybe he even got worse in some areas. So he's got to pick it up, or he's going to end up on the bench.
Couple of more from Mike Dco of ESPN.com as we are on the eve of Jaguar training camp. Mike, I don't know if it matters who wins the running back position, because I think both guys are going to have a significant role. But is it Etienne versus Bigsby for that starting spot?
Yeah, right now. And I would say Etienne probably has the lead. He had a really good spring. The staff there was really impressed with what they saw out of him. So that's an encouraging sign, because I've had this conversation with a lot of people. They're like, they just need to trade Etienne. And I'm like, okay, so you figure they're going to trade Etienne. That means you're going into the NFL season with one running back who has played in an NFL game. And none of those running backs, except for the guy that you took in, the 5th or 6th round, LaQuint Allen Jr., or maybe it was even the 7th. I don't even remember. It's been so long ago. But that's the only guy that actually can pass protect. That just doesn't sound like a smart move. So I think Etienne's the guy going into camp. Bigsby will be heavily, heavily involved. And then it's just a matter of how prepared can Basil Tootin and LaQuint Allen be to kind of contribute. But I would be very surprised if they open the season without Etienne on the roster, and if he's on the roster without him as the starter.
You look at the wide receiver position, Mike. Obviously, at the top, we know the names: Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter, De'Ami Brown, and probably Parker Washington. And then after that, maybe Cephas or a couple of undrafted guys. It's going to be interesting to see how the bottom part of that wide receiver room works itself out.
Yeah, for my 53-man prediction, I had Chandler Bravoy and Austin Trammell as the 2 guys making it. But, you could asterisk those names for sure, because it certainly depends on what else happens. I mean, I know they like Dorian Singer as well. So that's going to be those guys that can separate themselves on special teams. Because if you're going to be that 5th and 6th wide receiver, you've got to contribute on special teams. And, I think Trammell's the intriguing guy, because he catches everything, and he sort of flashed a little bit at times last year as well during camp and practices. So Those guys have a lot of work ahead of them, but they probably won't get a ton of work on offense unless there's obviously injuries, but they've got to be special teams guys.
Mike, let's go to the defense, but before we go there, obviously Trevor Lawrence, Travis Hunter, I really didn't ask you about them because we've spent so much time on them this offseason, but clearly there's intrigue with both guys as camp opens.
Yeah, without question. I mean, look, I want to say this is a big crossroads year for Trevor Lawrence, but it really isn't because of the contract. He's going to be around for several more seasons, but it's certainly a big year for him in terms of proving he can stay healthy and proving he can play consistently good football over the course of a season, because he hasn't done that. He did that second half of 22 and into the first half of 23, and then he's just not been able to stay healthy or play consistently good there. Hunter, yeah, I mean, where is he going to contribute the most? How much is he going to play on both sides of the ball? How much is his time going to be spent in each practice on both sides of the ball? How do they work that out? It's two of the big storylines that I'm watching in camp. Sure as everybody else is as well. James Gladstone said something interesting on an interview earlier in the spring when, he kind of hinted there that he's probably going to be a bigger contributor on defense than maybe offense. But we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, that's the two major story. Like, if you're not paying attention to those, then you're just not paying attention. But, can't wait to see how Liam Cohen or the kind of impact Liam Cohen has on Trevor Lawrence. And if he can do what he did for Baker Mayfield, then this team should be pretty good.
Mike Dco, ESPN.com. D-Rock to the defense. You mentioned safety at the top. I completely agree. If you consider Daniel Thomas and Andrew Wingard, which you should, they're obviously special teams captains, big-time contributors. You got those two with Antonio Johnson, Darnell Savage, and then the new guys, right? The Caleb Ransaws, the Eric Murrays, the Rayon Lanes. Mike, there's too many guys there and not enough roster spots, so they're going to have to cut a good player or two.
Yeah, without question. And it could end up being Darnell Savage, to be honest with you. That I didn't have him making the team on my 53-man roster, but that's a fluid situation there. And the question, Wingard's going to make it for sure, and he's one of their better special teams guys. Daniel Thomas is one of their better special teams guys there too. But if one of those, other rookies, like Lane or Ransaw, makes a big move on special teams, then, Daniel Thomas could be the odd guy out. And then maybe that clears the way for Darnell Savage to make the team. But it's going to be one of those low-key position battles that, everyone's going to pay attention to all the other stuff. But that's certainly one to watch because there could be some guys that everybody knows that don't make the roster.
Mike, they did nothing, which is amazing because everything they did do with the roster, they did nothing on the interior D-line. Eric Armstead moves back inside, which he should have been all along. You got, obviously, Mason Smith, Devon Hamilton, Jordan Jefferson, and Tyler Lacey. Is it as simple as that? Those are your five bigs inside?
Yeah, I mean, you can't address everything. And I think they view the Armstead move inside as addressing that position. Because it's like you mentioned, he should have been playing in there all along. And it's like now all of a sudden that they just signed a free agent guy of Armstead's ability to play inside. They're counting on some development from Mason Smith, who I came on really, really fast in the last month of the season last year once he kind of figured things out. So there's some excitement about him there. And Jordan Jefferson, they need to see more out of for sure. But that's going to have to be a position that maybe outperforms the expectations that we all have for it if they're going to make that next step defensively.
D-Rock, as we begin to wrap up, obviously Hines, Allen, and Walker on the edge. You would imagine Emmanuel Ogbah is pretty much a lock. That's three. What else are you thinking at the edge? I mean, is it as simple as, Miles Cole versus Yasir Abdullah versus Gardeck, who's obviously starting on the PUP list, and then obviously Jalen McLeod as well, the rookie from Auburn, could factor in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dwan Smoot, too. Don't forget Smoot is a guy that could get some playing time out there on the edge as well. But, it's got to be Walker and Allen having the kind of years they had in 2023 and not 24. And we talked about it in the spring, how Ryan Nielsen made those guys bulk up and put on 20, 25 pounds. And clearly that did not help Josh Hines-Allen going from 17.5 sacks to 8. So it's going to have to be a big year for him to kind of carry that defensive line and on the edge again. Looking forward to seeing what Trayvon Walker does in, year 4. Fantastic player that nobody outside of Jacksonville really pays any attention to. But those two guys have got to be as good as they were in 2023 for this team to have any chance to really get to the passer.
Mike, as we say goodbye, you mentioned Darnell Savage earlier. Is there another veteran or two that has played a lot of football in a Jaguar uniform that you think might be in trouble come a month or so from now?
Oh, wow. That's a really, really good question. Not that's played a lot in a Jags uniform. I think he would be the only one, I think, of note that's a big name that would qualify for that. I mean, Christian Braswell is a guy that's been around, but he's, and a guy that they had some high hopes for and flashed here and there, but I don't think he would qualify for that. You mentioned Miles Cole earlier. I don't think he makes the roster, and I don't even think he should have been on the roster before. That was still, of all those crazy, questionable moves that have been made over the last several years, I know he was a 7th-round pick, but that's one of the ones that just keeps making me scratch my head. And the rationale being, well, you don't find guys of his size and his arm length all over the place. So they didn't want to cut him because they didn't want to risk him not being on the roster, not being able to get back. But he was a 7th-round pick. I mean, everybody passed on that guy. So, and he just gave them really nothing on defense last year. So those probably are the names that maybe most people are familiar with. Maybe Javon Foster, that might be another one. I mean, a 4th-round pick who certainly just never became that swing tackle, but I don't know that he played a ton of football and he'd qualify. But those are some of the names that I don't have making it that people might be familiar with.
Boy, they've already cut Keelan Robinson. If they cut Miles Cole and Javon Foster, what an indictment of Trent Baalke's final draft class last year. Good grief. Quickly, Chad Muma, you think he's okay?
Actually, you know what? That's one of those guys that I probably should have mentioned because I forgot about Chad Muma. I don't have him making the team either. I think Jack Kaiser is the guy that they drafted to eventually be his replacement. And Kaiser had a pretty good spring. So if he keeps, on that path, then I could see him being a guy, Chad Muma being a guy that doesn't make it. So bad on me for not remembering Chad Muma there.
Mike, it kicks off in a matter of hours. What can people look forward to at ESPN.com as training camp gets underway?
Oh, man, we've got it completely covered here. We're going to be, a little bit more aggressive in terms of news pitching this year and seeing what kind of, stories we can get out there and quickly, as opposed to maybe in years past where we possibly, weren't as aggressive in getting some news stuff out there. But, that's good. That's a new, not a new, but that's sort of like an NFL nationwide goal again this year is to get more stuff out quickly. So that's going to be a little bit more fun and a little bit more immediate for us this year than maybe in years past.
Mike Dco does a terrific job covering the Jacksonville Jaguars, has so for years. There with ESPN.com. D-Rock, I will see you tomorrow morning down at the Miller Electric Center, pal.
Absolutely. Bring your sunscreen.
It's not girl talk, it's sports talk. Coming after you! Tom McManus adds his helmet to the heels with Lauren Brooks and Taylor Dahl.
Let's talk football.
Football! At a new time, afternoons 2 to 4 on 1010XL.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, 2 locations in Jacksonville.
Hey, Googans, Hicken here, and I just want to once again give you this very simple reminder. Wear sunscreen. If you're outside a lot, Bring the screen. Put some in your truck, on your boat, in your golf bag, whatever, wherever. Just use it, please. It's hot out there, and I just want you to protect yourself. I use it like it's cool because I think it is. But what's not cool, that's skin cancer. You don't want to deal with that. Go get yourself checked out. It could save your life. Go to beachesdermatology.com and schedule your appointment today. That's beachesdermatology.com.
Okay, for this Cannons of Jacksonville commercial, we need an idea to really come out with a bang.
Like having a guy shot out of a cannon.
Nah, too messy. In fact, Cannons is known for all your towing needs.
So like my car won't start.
No. Towing products. Cannons does custom welding fabrication and installation of trailer hitches, goosenecks, tow bars, truck racks.
So you might say Cannons is my best shot at finding that inventory in stock?
Boom. You said it.
Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
Beer, water, beer. That's a pretty good game plan when it comes to battling the summer heat. When you hit the beach, fishing hole, or golf course, make sure you hydrate. Anheuser-Busch is always up for a good time. Just remember to drink responsibly.
1010XL is excited to support an evening of all-star fun as comedian David Spade joins MC and Gator basketball great Patrick Young to induct Olympic swimmers Nancy Hogshead and Ryan Murphy, golf legend Jim Furyk, and the iconic Lizard King into the Sawyer Sports Foundation's Jacksonville Sports Hall of Fame, presented by the Nimnick family of dealerships. Saturday, July 26th at the Community First Igloo. For single ticket and table sponsorship, go to JacksonvilleIceman.com.
It's a magical phone line.
Check this out.
It brings you things you can't get anywhere else, like insider insight from sports experts. Listen for the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Check. Every day on 1010XL.
Hey, Jacksonville, need a fence and ready to save? At Superior Fence and Rail, you'll lock in 5% off your fence project when you sign by the end of July. A limited time offer for savings and peace of mind this summer. Now accepting appointments for a free estimate. So act fast and get 5% off your entire fence project when you finalize by July 31st. Cannot be combined with other offers. New contracts only.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. You're on-road, you're off-road, now you're on the water. Greg, tell everybody what Coach and Honda is offering in the form of boats.
We've got the Honda boat, which is a great runabout fisherman. We've got the Coach boats. They're fantastic for getting out with a family. Nice lay-down beds, all with that legendary Honda motor on.
Check them all out. They're waiting for you. You can see how you can be on the water with Honda or with Coach pontoon boats. Cycles of Jacksonville on Atlantic near Regency.
Say goodbye to glasses and contacts with customized vision treatments at Bowden Eye & Associates. Hey, Hicken here. Dr. Bowden and his expert team bring you all the latest options like Evo implantable Caliber lenses, refractive lens exchange, or traditional LASIK. Tailored just for you. Imagine waking up to clear vision. No hassle, no fuss. You ready to see the difference? Call now or visit BowdenEye.com for a free screening. Bowden Eye & Associates, keeping the first coast focused.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
Has someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI, domestic violence, and all criminal offenses. In your battle with the justice system, there's only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645. 354-5645.
Are you ready to play this summer? At the First Coast YMCA, we're committed to being your home for health and wellness and a place for friendly competition with team sports for adults and for kids. Basketball, volleyball, pickleball, flag football, soccer. The Y has something for everyone at any age. Discover all the benefits of YMCA membership and find your fun this summer at the Y. Registration for team sports and summer camps is open now. Visit fcymca.org.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Tomorrow morning, Jaguar training camp, Miller Electric Center. Bright and early, right? I think practice gets underway, 8:15, 8:30 tomorrow morning. I'll be down there, scheduled to talk with Jaguar center Robert Hainsey post-practice. We'll bring you that conversation here tomorrow night on Hacker After Dark. There's news around the National Football League. A lot of players starting to report. Camps opening up. Terry McLaurin, a no-show up in Washington. Not happy that he does not have a new contract. Interesting because, of course, Washington lost De'Ami Brown here to Jacksonville. Noah Brown got injured in OTAs. I don't know if we know his status moving forward. They did bring in Deebo Samuel, but McLaurin's got a little bit of negotiation power with the Commanders because Jaden Daniels needs a number one receiver, and McLaurin's that guy. So it'll be interesting to see what happens up there in Washington. How about the Honey Badger calling it a career? One of the best college football players I've ever seen. Tyrann Mathieu at LSU was nothing short of sensational. Had a good NFL career. I don't think it was a great NFL career, but a good one, a long one. He calls it a career today, retiring as a New Orleans Saint. So the Honey Badger, one of the best college football players I've ever seen in my life, calls it a career today in the National Football League. You see the Seattle Seahawks are just basically moving to Las Vegas. Geno Smith, Pete Carroll, now members of the Raiders. And today the Raiders signed former Seahawk Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams at one time was maybe the best safety in football. That time has come and gone to the point where he was in Tennessee last year, and I bet a lot of you didn't even know that because he did basically nothing for the Titans. He now goes to Las Vegas to see if there's anything left, reunites him with Pete Carroll, reunites him with Geno Smith, but a very Seattle feel in Sin City with the Raiders there in Las Vegas. Other news around the National Football League. Tampa Bay, just like here in Jacksonville, they place a couple of their big-time players on the PUP list today. We talk about Mason Smith getting placed on that list in Jacksonville. Well, today Tampa Bay placed offensive tackle Tristan Wirfs and wide receiver Chris Godwin on the PUP list. Again, physically unable to perform. You can come off of that list at any time in training camp or the preseason. But if you're not ready to go for a good week or so, you place on that list. It opens up a roster spot that the team can go out and sign somebody. But of course, if you bring somebody back on the active roster off that PUP list, you will have to cut somebody to get back to your 90 required players. That's how many the Jaguars are going to have beginning tomorrow at the Miller Electric Center. I'll be down there looking forward to it. Hope I see you guys as well. Daniel Harms of Bleacher Report, one of my main draft guys. Let's also talk with Daniel about the young players in Tennessee, Indy, and Houston. We'll do a deep dive, not only with Jacksonville, but as other camps open up in the AFC South. Daniel Harms of Bleacher Report next, right here on a Tuesday night. It's Hacker After Dark.
Start sequence 1.
Unleash the excitement of Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Ignition.
XL.
Blue here for the blue.
Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Got a clogged drain that just won't quit? It's time to bring in the pros. Duck Duck Rooter.
I called Duck Duck Rooter for a clogged kitchen drain. They showed up fast and had it cleared in no time. No mess, no stress.
We've seen it all. Grease clogs, hairballs, mystery goo from the deep. Whatever's blocking your pipes, we'll get it flowing again. Call 904-862-6769 now to schedule your drain cleaning service. That's 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the duck.
Sun's out, savings out. That's what the summer is all about. Hurry to Kia on Atlantic this month to maximize your fun in the sun. Make no payments for 90 days and drive new Kia starting under $20K. Plus, it's easy to shop for new Kias when you know we have financing rates starting at 0. Take advantage of the sunniest time of year and drive away with the sunshine savings from here. Online at KiaOnAtlantic.com. Kia on Atlantic, your Kia Coastal Connection. For complete details, call 904-250-0587.
I'm Max Fink, and I'm your Gator Updater. Listen for the Gator Report several times a week on 1010XL.
Freshened up by San Jose Collision on the home of the Florida Gators, 1010XL.
Go, Gators! The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron. Totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens. Also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
Storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roof and Contracting. Save 15% on roof replacements and repairs now through July 31st. And financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting. Protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com.
Hi folks, Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Ever wonder what to do with leftover paint that you don't want? Here's a few options. Paint can be placed in the regular trash if it's dry. Simply stir in kitty litter to a thick consistency. Then wait a few days with the lid off till it dries. Also, if the paint is good, there's many charities or churches that would love to have it. If you'd like more tips or have a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
As a Florida homeowner, you're no stranger to mosquito problems. And although it's tempting to use DIY methods to get rid of them, mosquitoes are relentless. That's why it's important to enlist the help of the mosquito experts at Florida Pest Control. At Florida Pest Control, we offer specialized treatment solutions that are effective against mosquito infestations and are committed to keeping our customers protected year-round. For your free quote, give us a call or visit flapest.com today. Florida Pest Control, your local mosquito control experts.
Guys, your lawn's the home field. Now you can champion your St. Augustine grass. TopDressing.com just hit Jacksonville with a game-changing patented process. Aerate and transform your turf into a fairway-worthy masterpiece. Less water, shorter cuts, and the envy of every neighbor. No one else delivers a perfect 10 lawn like this. Visit TopDressing.com and dominate your block with the same process that golf courses use. Top dress your lawn like the pros with TopDressing.com.
Are you ready to reclaim your backyard? Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, Surfside Pools is the trusted name for expert pool design. Family owned and operated, they offer pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools transform your backyard into the oasis that you crave. Are you ready to float happy? Visit surfsidepools.net or call 246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, where luxury meets leisure.
License number CPC 044080.
What Major League Baseball teams have never won a World Series?
When you file a claim with Southern Oak Insurance, we schedule one of our trusted vendors to work directly with you, which means a faster claim resolution. Find out more at southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours.
5 Major League Baseball teams that have never won a World Series: Colorado, Milwaukee, San Diego, Seattle, and Tampa Bay.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Hey, Hicken here. Think you got the ugliest garage floor on the First Coast? Your garage a crack-stained, hot mess? Hold on to your squeegee. Checkmate Coatings is hunting for the worst garage floor out there. And the winner gets a free garage coating makeover. Whoa! Take 10 seconds. Snap a pic of that garage eyesore. Register at checkmatecoatings.com/contests for a chance to win a free floor coating. It's easy. Just snap a quick pic and enter for a chance to win at checkmatecoatings.com/contest. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville, your home for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we are glad you are with us. Training camp is here. The Jaguars will be on the field Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday this week. Hard to believe the NFL preseason begins a week from this Thursday with the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio. Let's talk Jaguars training camp. Let's look around the AFC South as well with Daniel Harms of Bleacher Report. We always enjoy having Daniel on, and he's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Daniel, I trust your summer is going well, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Currently trying to move from Missouri to Ohio, and it's raining, so we have lots of packing and getting stuff on the truck that is not getting done at the moment. So a little stressful, but it's going well.
Wow. It's a busy time of year with football starting up. All right, training camp is upon us, and look, the Jaguars had one of the most interesting off seasons maybe in franchise history if you think back to everything that's transpired over the last 6+ months. Daniel, from a mile-high view, how would you assess the Jaguars organization and what they accomplished this offseason?
Honestly, from an outside perspective, I'm really excited about what they can do. I was really high on Liam Cohen, and we saw what the Buccaneers did going from just the different personnel, offensive coordinator, Liam Cohen comes in, and he just kind of takes everything they were doing, and they got a little bit better here at the passing game. The run game was all better, too. So bringing him in as the head coach, I think, is the first step in changing the culture of that. Obviously, Gladstone is one of the young, youthful guys around the league with the Rams first. He comes in. They want to change that culture. I'm excited about that. I was actually watching their YouTube series, their most recent one about some of the Iron Jaguar games they were doing. And you can see the excitement, not just from the coaching staff, from the team perspective. And it does feel like these young guys, they're one of the youngest groups in the NFL now, from all the changeover, 9 draft picks, multiple UDFAs. They are trying their best to get guys that they clearly identify that they want on the team, that have that heart, that have some athleticism as well. And you see a lot of that working in some of these OTAs, the workouts, and just the competitive nature that they were building in. And I was really excited to watch that. And it gives you a little bit more optimism for what I think this team could be in a few years. I'm not saying they're going to come in now, change everything like the Commanders did, and just kind of be one of the best teams in their division or conference. But I do think that when you start from the ground up and work at the just the chemistry and the culture that you're trying to build is one of the best ways to go about it. And I think the Jaguars have done that with, like I said, the front office, some of the coaching hires, as well as the players they brought in.
Daniel Harms of Bleacher Report with us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. I like the 2 words that have been used a lot with the Jaguars. I've used them a bunch this offseason. It's new and different. Different because it's felt different here, and anything different with the Jaguars is probably good based on how bad they've been for a majority of the last 15+ seasons. And you mentioned new. The 90 guys that are going to be on the field for the opening of training camp this week, I want to say like 50 to 55 of them were not here in January when the season ended. I mean, that's going to be crazy. I'm happy I got a roster sheet because a lot of these guys we're not very familiar with yet. But Daniel, there's no doubt training camp's always vital. But here in Jacksonville, it adds that much more emphasis to build that chemistry and that cohesiveness that you were talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when training camp is not, because you start with the OTAs and everyone's starting to get to know each other, right? It's not just the front office. Like you said, there's multiple players that were not around last season. So you have those guys like Josh Hines Allen, Trevor Lawrence, and obviously you still have Brian Thomas Jr., lots of younger players, but still want to be there. Those technically those veterans in the room now. You're hoping that some of the offensive line changes will get to working itself out. You bring so many new guys in, Robert Hainsey, Patrick McCarry, Fred Johnson, Shuma Adoga, and then he's Raft, Wyatt Milan, and Jonah Monheim. Like, there's going to be a lot of different just kind of players that you want to get eyes on. So just from a training camp perspective, there's going to be lots of different battles. I don't know every single position that we're going to have battles, but because there are so many players and different IDs in this locker room, trying to figure out what the offense wants from it, the defense wants from it too. There's going to be so much, I think, energy and youthful energy and just kind of trying to figure that out with each other. And training camp, not only does it reintegrate everybody back into the football season, times like this, when you have 50 so new players, it gets everybody the juices flowing, right? I know OTAs and everything like that are good for them, but you get that break between, and training camp is where we're going to get to see a lot of these new guys, a lot of these young players. And for the Jags specifically, like I mentioned, that youthful energy, I think it's only going to make training camp even better to watch for the fans.
Daniel, when you look at the Jaguars skill position, right, we'll get to Trevor in a moment because that's obviously the biggest story, but the talent around him, BTJ, obviously, Travis Hunter, that's a fascinating situation. I think De'Ami Brown might have been a little under the radar signing based on what he did in the playoffs for Washington. Mm-hmm. You mentioned, Bigsby and ETN in the backfield, Brenton Strange at tight end. How would you assess the skill position talent on the Jaguar offense?
It's a lot of fun, honestly. I was a big fan of De'Ami Brown coming out of UNC. He didn't really get his shine until last year where they started airing the ball out. And so I'm excited to see what Liam Cohen's going to draw up for him specifically. But you still have, like you said, Brian Thomas, who was more of a yards after catch player than he was at LSU. And then Travis Hunter. It's like you said, not just a unique situation. How much is he going to play if he's going to be a true one-on-one in terms of defense and offense and full-time? I find it hard to believe that's going to be the case, but my own thing would be to play him on offense, but it's hard to not want him on the defensive side. So I'm very interested to see how that's going to play out. Actually, when Brenton Strange was drafted in the second round a few years ago, I was like, I didn't have his name on my board right away because I was doing more overall draft breakdown at that point, not specific to tight ends like I am now. So I didn't get an eye on him until after it. I was actually really impressed with what he could do from an all-around perspective. I think this is going to be, and honestly, when you looked at Johnny Munt, Hunter Long, Quentin Morris, none of these guys have like a bona fide pass catching upside in them. And I think that Strange showcased multiple times last year that he's ready for more of that role. So when you, again, look at the construction there, it does feel like they want him to be that guy for Trevor Lawrence. And then the backfield, right? Again, take Bigsby out of Auburn. I was a big fan of his all-around game last year. Outside of putting the ball on the ground, some drops here and there, he showcased the explosiveness to take the ball to the house. And then the physicality that he's always played with. Maybe some of the vision still is in work in progress. I think a 1-2 punch with him, whether it's Travis Etienne or Bashal Tutin, we'll see how that works out. I know there's a lot of questions surrounding Travis Etienne's future with this organization, so we'll kind of keep an eye on that as well. But in terms of what I think Tank Bigsby can be, that 1A to a backfield, I'm excited about that too. So again, this is a very, I've said this a lot, exciting position because I want to see what they're going to do, because I do think this could be one of the more explosive and fun offenses in the NFL from a youth perspective.
Final moments, Daniel Harms of Bleacher Report. That brings us to Trevor Lawrence. Daniel, it goes without saying, he has not been dealt the best hand of cards here in Jacksonville. If you go back to his final year at Clemson, this is head coach number 4 in a 6-year stretch. He's got the third different center in the last 3 years he'll be working with this year, and Robert Hainsey. It hasn't all been sunshine and rainbows. He's had injury problems as well. Having said that, he's going to be 26 in October. It's time for Trevor to show some stuff, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. This is, I think we all kind of give Liam Cohen a little bit of credit for what he did with Baker Mayfield last year. Baker did a lot of the work too. So I think one of the big talking points this offseason has been that Trevor doesn't watch film. I don't know where that came from. All of these quarterbacks have to watch film. They have to watch tape. So when we get the idea that some of these guys that they're only good at this one specific thing, I watched Trevor Lawrence, and I think that not just the turmoil that he's gone through with multiple different offenses, not just changing. I know a lot of players like Joe Burrow, they have to put an offense built around them. Everyone uses the term system quarterback, but everyone has things that they are good at. Every quarterback has specific things they're good at. Trevor Lawrence, with all the different arm angles, with the arm talent, he can throw the ball down the field. He wants to test windows as well. I think his pocket management is pretty good too. And like you said, with the offensive line shifting, he now has to get used to another new interior that's going to be different from what he's been dealing with the past couple of years. So that's going to be an adjustment process as well. It might not look great right away, but I think that Liam Cohen is going to be able to give him some easy answers. But like you said, this is a year that he has to prove that regardless of expectations, regardless of what he's dealt with in the past, that there has to be something down the road. If you get injured again, what is that going to mean? If you can't, with the wealth of talent and with Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter, what does that say? I know he's already got the contract, but I'm optimistic he can do it. I think this offensive line has upside capabilities. And again, we already talked about the weapons. So this might be the best situation that he's had in his NFL career. And I can't wait to see it.
Daniel, as we begin to wrap up, you look at the division, and I'm trying not to be a homer here when it comes to the Jaguars, but if there is a division where a 4-win team from last year thinks that maybe they could, dare I say, win it, I would think the two Southern divisions, the NFC South and the AFC South, and I happen to think the AFC South might be a little bit worse than the NFC South. You can debate it. But nevertheless, the AFC South is not exactly full of powerhouses. So I think any of those teams, even Tennessee to an extent, I think probably has a lot of ambitions as training camps open.
Yeah, I think you could make the case that Houston won more games than they should have last year. And again, if the offensive line doesn't work out for C.J. Stroud, you're worried about how he can consistently get out of trouble. I think that you worry about some bad habits that get formed off of pressure that started to kind of creep in last year towards the playoffs and the postseason. But I mean, the Colts, what's going to happen with Anthony Richardson? And obviously, apparently there's a QB battle with him and Daniel Jones, not something I would have thought going into the offseason. And like you said, optimism with the Titans. There's going to be, I think this division specifically has a lot of that, right? It's a lot of optimism. The Colts might be the most. We don't really know what's going to happen because if Anthony Richardson can't actually win the job, it feels like that's just going to be a mediocre at best team. But I would agree. Jacksonville has the opportunity. If Houston can't actually get over the hump offensively and they still struggle, I think they're going to have a really good defense. But Jacksonville, with all this new influx of talent, these new players, we don't know how it's going to mesh. And that's part of the excitement surrounding them, right? We don't know really what's going to happen. But with the new coach, with the new systems, with new GMs and everything, there's a lot of possibility here. So we've seen it happen before. We saw it just happen last year. And the Commanders didn't win the division, but they were in the NFC Championship game. So I'm not trying to put those kind of expectations on the Jaguars, but I do think that sometimes when you nail draft picks and when you nail some of these players that you bring in, things can come in a lot quicker than they expect. And I do think that Liam Cohen's the guy for the job. So looking around, like you said, they could definitely surprise some people this year.
Daniel, final question. The last football game we saw, Philadelphia beat Kansas City in the Super Bowl. As training camps open now, 5.5 months later, are those still the two favorites in their respective conferences heading into 2025?
I would say so. I mean, I know that the Chiefs, on paper, people are probably expecting them with the new offensive line. It feels like there's an offensive line shift going around the NFL at the moment, but it couldn't be as bad as it was last year when you have a left guard. No offense to Joe Tooney playing at left tackle. It can't be that bad. And the Eagles, regardless of some of the losses that they had, drafted again very well. They've got everything in place. I would say that the Chiefs are still the top of the AFC at the moment. I mean, obviously Buffalo is right there as the Ravens. I think if Cincinnati continues to get even marginally better defensively, that offense is going to be putting them there right now. So at the end of the day, I still think it's Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles at the top.
Daniel, tell the good folks here in Jacksonville about Bleacher Report and the coverage you guys will have as training camps open.
Yeah, guys, I just actually accepted a job at Bleacher Report scouting tight ends, cornerbacks, and safeties for the upcoming draft cycle. I start on the 1st of August. You guys will be able to read all of my draft reports there. And if you are interested in Chiefs content at all, which I know most of you are not, I do have a YouTube page, rgrfootball.com, where I break down the Chiefs every single week. So I appreciate you guys. You always see me on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, at InHarmsWay19 as well.
Daniel Harms of Bleacher Report. Daniel, appreciate the time. Best of luck with the move, man. I know it's a busy time for you, but we'll talk again soon, pal.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, and we're hoping this spring.
And thank you, too, Daniel Harms of Bleacher Report, for joining us tonight here on Hacker After Dark, as we are now on the doorstep of Jaguar training camp. The guys have reported they will be on the field tomorrow morning down at the Miller Electric Center. We'll be down there. We got one-on-one interviews scheduled basically for every training camp practice during this training camp season. And tomorrow we'll kick it off with Robert Hainsey. We'll have Robert Hainsey on tomorrow night here on Hacker After Dark. I'm scheduled to talk with Robert post-practice tomorrow down at the Miller Electric Center. Really interested in that conversation. What brought him to Jacksonville? Obviously, his relationship with Liam Cohen from last year in Tampa, and the newness in the offensive line room. He's one of 6 new guys in pro free agency or the draft that are now in that offensive line room. How is the chemistry working? How is the cohesiveness working? And he's more than likely going to be the 3rd center in a row for Trevor Lawrence. 3 different centers over the last 3 years, from Luke Fortner to Mitch Morse, now likely to Robert Hainsey. So I'll talk with Hainsey tomorrow post-practice. And, of course, you will hear that conversation tomorrow night here on Hacker After Dark. I do hope I see you out at the Miller Electric Center tomorrow, Thursday, or Friday. Again, I don't know if it's a sellout. I would imagine it probably is, or close to it. But you have to go to Jaguars.com to get your tickets. And again, bright and early, right? Like 8 a.m., 8:15 is when practice will be getting underway. So I'm going to go home, get a few hours of sleep, and then I will be down at the Miller Electric Center for the first practice of the 2025 Jacksonville Jaguar training camp. Well, that will just about do it, man. It has been a very, very busy Tuesday night, a training camp eve edition here of Hacker After Dark. We have a ton of people to thank tonight. Again, Daniel Harms of Bleacher Report. Appreciate Daniel coming on not only to talk about the Jaguars, but to look around the rest of the AFC South. Thank you to my buddy Mike Dco, D-Rock, ESPN.com, doing a training camp preview with us tonight here on Hacker After Dark. Looking forward to seeing D-Rock and all my other media colleagues out there at training camp tomorrow. And then back in hour number 1, my buddy Cecil Shorts, former wide receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars during the year. You get him on every week here on Hacker After Dark, but we'll start picking things up with Cecil more periodically now that training camp has officially arrived, and we certainly appreciate Cecil for taking time out for us here on this Tuesday evening. Like we said, we'll be back tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, for a Wednesday night edition of Hacker After Dark. I will certainly have a lot of thoughts from practice number 1 of Jaguar training camp, and I will have that one-on-one conversation with new Jaguar center Robert Hainsey. Dylan Denmark was your producer tonight. Dylan, great job as always. I'm the hacker Ryan Green. And again, Jacksonville, thank you for spending part of your Tuesday evening with us right here on Hacker After Dark, on 1010XL, and on 92.5 FM. So for all of us here on HAD, have a terrific remainder of your Tuesday evening, and we will do it all over again tomorrow night on a Wednesday right here at 8 o'clock. So until then, I will see you out at the Miller Electric Center tomorrow for practice number 1 of Jaguar training camp.
A bunch of misfits that are finally starting to gel.
Veterans are starting to play back to form, and the rookies